Microsoft's 2018 E3 press conference is over, and it's safe to say the Xbox platform now has a clearly defined vision for both the near and distant future. Over 50 games were shown off at the event, including a handful of Xbox exclusive titles, third-party projects, and independent initiatives. All in all, it was a solid showing, but every project can't be a winner. For all the impressive first-party reveals and third-party world premieres, there were some clear misses on Microsoft's stage that we can't quite get out of our heads. Hold on to your butts. We're taking a look at the best and the worst that the Xbox team put on display at E3 2018. Best. Hail to the Chief. E3 seemed like the perfect place to tease Master Chief's next adventure, and sure enough, that's what Microsoft did by pulling back the curtain on Halo Infinite. While the details were light in Microsoft's reveal trailer, there were a few things we could glean from the footage. The game looks like a huge nod to the original Halo, with the trailer showing off a very similar type of world complete with an obligatory Halo ring. And in a move that will surely please fans of the series, the camera caught a small glimpse of Master Chief, helmet in hand, leading us to believe that he'll take his rightful place as the protagonist of the next title. But it's still too early to say anything for sure. We don't even have a release date yet. Worst R.I.P. PUBG. When Microsoft nabbed PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds as a console exclusive in 2017, the move looked like a game changer. PUBG was on an absolute tear in terms of sales and popularity, and it only existed on PC. Having that kind of firepower on Xbox One seemed like a brilliant move at a time when Microsoft needed a killer app. Fast forward to E3 2018, however, and we're suddenly in a whole new world. What looked like a PUBG clone in Fortnite Battle Royale has actually become a worldwide phenomenon, with millions of players across PC, console, and mobile. And there are hordes of new games coming with Royale-style modes, including entries from franchises like Call of Duty and Battlefield. Microsoft devoted some precious E3 event time to new content for PUBG, and what would have likely been a rowdy crowd last year sounded disinterested at best. That should be very troubling for those who thought PUBG would help Microsoft bridge the exclusives gap with its console counterparts. Best. What's on the horizon for Forza?
The sun is out, the sky is blue, and it's the perfect day for a drive.
Let's face it, Forza Horizon 4 was about the least shocking thing on stage at Microsoft's conference, but we're not sure anyone expected FH4 to look quite as good as it did. This year's Horizon takes place in Britain, which means you're likely to get a whole lot of diversity in the game's environments. We saw rolling countrysides and city races, along with a new dynamic weather system that brings sun, rain, and snow to every track. But perhaps the biggest step Forza Horizon 4 is taking has to do with online play. This year's entry takes place in a fully shared world. Horizon 4 even teased some world events, which require players to work in tandem in order to complete a goal and unlock rewards. We're definitely looking forward to this one. Worst, a divisive demo. There are a few E3 staples more cringeworthy than cheesy multiplayer gameplay demos. They're tough to sit through because no one talks that way when they're playing. Remember 2017's super uncomfortable Anthem reveal?
Have you been in there yet?
I haven't. We should do that later with Kim.
Yeah, he could use the XP.
Ubisoft definitely has us interested in The Division 2, thanks in large part to its Washington, D.C. setting. But the gameplay demo Ubisoft put on was hard to listen to.
Kit, we gotta get you leveled up.
I know, please help. I've been busy.
The scripted dialogue between the four-player team and the demo sounded like it was written for a CG film and not for friends who hopped online to play a game together.
Jesus! Whoa, that's nuts.
Let's check it out.
Great idea, let's just die.
Best. Pop goes the sequel. That excitement in the E3 crowd took a noticeable dip when pop figurines of classic Gears of War heroes and villains popped out of the wall instead of the real deal. Were it not for the fact that Gears 5 was unveiled shortly afterward, we're pretty certain there would have been riots. Yes, the Gears franchise is getting a mobile game in Gears Pop. It's also getting a PC strategy game in Gears Tactics. But what everyone wanted to see is what came after the strange reveal of those other two titles, and that was Gears 5. The new game in the series doesn't have a release date. We did, however, get a look at some gameplay and a small sampling of the story, which appears to star Kate from Gears of War 4.
That is a direct order.
Well, Captain, screw your order. This isn't about you, it's about me.
For a series known for its grit and machismo, the addition of a female lead is a pretty cool change-up, and we're interested in learning more about that necklace. Worst, fast start is a slow burn. Okay, real talk, Microsoft deserves a lot of credit for the work it's put into the Xbox One dashboard, but holy smokes, fast start did not need to be an E3 announcement, and it went on way longer than it should have. Fast Start is an interesting project, don't get us wrong. It uses machine learning to figure out which parts of a game people play most, and it works to install those parts first so you can start playing a download more quickly. It's basically the Xbox's ready-to-play feature on steroids, and while it's a nice feature, it really did not need several minutes of stage time at E3. Put it in a press release and give that time to another indie game. Best Party Animals.
We embarked on a quest to find creative teams that have the mastery of our art form.
If there's one nagging thing the Xbox platform can't shake, it's the lack of exclusive titles. Microsoft has been running the same 3 or 4 franchises ad nauseum for years and has watched Sony drop hit game after hit game without a meaningful response. At its E3 press conference, Microsoft finally did something about it by announcing 5 new first-party studios. The first studio, The Initiative, is a brand new outfit helmed by former Crystal Dynamics lead Daryl Gallagher. The other 4 are acquisitions of existing studios: Ninja Theory, responsible for Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice; Undead Labs, the guys and gals behind the State of Decay franchise; Compulsion Games, creators of the kooky, drug-fueled We Happy Few; and Playground Games. More studios means more games, and more games is always good news. Worst, We Unhappy Many. The story of We Happy Few is a complicated one. Its initial reveal at E3 made it look almost Bioshock-like in its tone, which excited many, but the reality of the game was quite different. It was story-light and survival-heavy, and most who sampled the game in early access found it underwhelming. We Happy Few eventually left early access to go under the knife, and what's emerged is now more in line with what players expected at the onset. It's a more narrative-driven game, and the survival elements have been downplayed significantly. The problem? None of that was evident in the game's E3 trailer. The We Happy Few shown off in 2018 looks almost identical to the one on Microsoft's E3 stage in 2016, with the same Brave New World Gone Wrong universe it was touting back then. It fell out of place in Microsoft's lineup of reveals, which up to that point had been mostly solid, and it could spell trouble for the game if players are as disenchanted with it now as they were before. Best Son of a Glitch. Phil Spencer seemed to be wrapping up the Xbox E3 conference with his signature brand of optimism. He spoke about how games bring people together, let you be a hero, all of that. But right before he could wish the crowd well and close the show, something bizarre happened. The screens on stage began to glitch and the lights went dark. A DOS prompt appeared on the venue's large display, and mysterious fingers typed out the path of an executable file. And then a video played. It was our first substantial look at CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077. The footage didn't show any hands-on gameplay, but we did get a sense of the world the game takes place in. Highly futuristic with flying vehicles, droid soldiers, and loads of violence. We don't know how to describe the aesthetic other than to say it's cyberpunk. So CD Projekt Red is on the ball in that regard. The only disappointing bit about this reveal was its lack of release date, which means we'll probably be waiting until late 2019 to get our hands on Cyberpunk 2077. Worst, the waiting game. Microsoft's future looks bright as far as the Xbox platform is concerned. Halo Infinite is in the pipeline. Gears 5 is currently being developed. There are huge games coming in Crackdown 3 and Ori and the Will of the Wisps. And the company just added 5 new studios to pump out first-party content. The problem? All of the games mentioned above aren't coming out in 2018. Some of them don't even have release dates. The biggest title Microsoft has coming in 2018 is Forza Horizon 4. And while that game looks like it'll be great, Microsoft is hurting when it comes to exclusives for the 2018 holiday season. The content problem as a whole will get worked out with time, but for fans who've been waiting years for Microsoft to get it right, 2018 looks like it's shaping up to be a disappointment. Thanks for watching. Click the SVG icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.